job. They're well coached. They've got good players. They play with great effort. So we really do have to play a complete football game. You got to play a 60-minute football game when you're going up against this team. With that, I'll take any questions.
What's the latest with Denzel?
No update.
Yes.
Kevin, is there a particular aspect that he's struggling with more than others? I don't know what you're at liberty to say.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm able to say.
David can't go. How much more does that put on Harrison's plate, and what other options do you have, considering how much tight end, how important the tight end is in your offense?
Yeah, I think that's part of our challenge each week, Chris, is who do you have available to you, and then put a game plan together. So there's, with Farrow, his availability is unknown at this point with his concussion. So obviously Harry was somebody that has played a ton of football for us, had played really good football, run game, pass game, so we're excited about him getting a little bit more of an opportunity. And then we have different ways that we can run our offense, but it's really incumbent upon us as a staff to put together a plan with the guys that are available to you.
You guys run the ball out of 3 wides, and you use that a good amount, but the fact that you normally do use 2 and 3 tight ends so much, how significant a change to the game plan is it?
Yeah, I mean, week to week, you really do have to pivot based on injury sometimes, based on scheme sometimes. So we've been in a good amount of different personnel groupings, but you're right. Without David, he's been important to what we do, run game, pass game. But and he's a great player. But if he doesn't make it, we got to next man up and find a way to run our offense.
Burrow's gotten really hot these last couple of games, throwing 6 touchdowns. Just what makes that pass game so prolific? They use the deep ball so effectively as well.
Yeah, well, it's a combination of good scheme and good players, I think is the simple answer. Burrow's playing at a high level. He's a young player that seems to get better week to week. Dynamic players, major rack from those players on the perimeter, a really good running back. So, again, it's a balanced attack, and they do have the ability to, when you play single safety, to throw go balls. And you're going up against it's a tough matchup. So I think there are certain things that you can do as a defense, but you're just trying to slow that pass attack down.
The trade deadline's coming up, and not from you guys, but Grady's name has come up and Kareem Hunt. Is that kind of a distraction, or how do you foresee anything happening?
Yeah, I think that's the time of year you're in. It's the things get put out on social media, I'm sure, but we don't pay much attention to it.
Update on Chase Winovich or Jesse James, are they on the horizon?
No update on either of those guys.
Jerome Ford, he's still in the IR, obviously.
Right, he's progressing, Tony. I don't think we'll get him back this week, but he's progressing. Should see him after the bye.
Practice today. Do you expect him to be out there tomorrow?
I think we'll see. I think that's one. I just got to take that one day to day.
Protocol is there was changes to them going into protocols and added steps to prevent that, but is it harder to get them out by any, or is it all the same?
I just think that each one is so different, and you got to treat each player differently, treat each injury, in this case a concussion, in its own way. So I don't know that it's different per se, but we'll always follow every rule that there is. Just follow the protocol, and you can't rush those things.
I know the last 2 games, I think Kareem's targets, his carries have gone down. I mean, has there been a reason for that, or just the situation of the game?
Yeah, no reason. Expect him to help us, contribute this game. But sometimes you get unlucky a little bit. He got unlucky with some really bad runs, quite honestly. But I wouldn't read too much into that.
Zell's pick 6 was, such a huge point in the game. It seems like, it set the tone for the whole game.
Right.
Is that just an example of, what a Denzel brings and how much you're going to be trying to replace with him if you can't play?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was a game-changing play, and those are game-changing plays when you can get your hands on the ball and flip the field or score. That's obviously a boon to your team. But I think we, should Denzel not make it, I think we got guys that can similarly make plays, and that's ultimately what it's about.
Do you need to make any changes in your punt coverage I mean, a 42-yard run return last week, and I think it was a 16-yard return the week before. Do you need to make any changes there?
I think we need to, certainly in those plays, you need to change how we covered those plays. We didn't cover them great. So you correct them. That's what we do. You point it out, you correct it, and you make sure it doesn't happen again. But I think when you watch those plays, we just got to make sure that we're in position that we need to be in.
Protecting Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, 4 new guys along the offensive line. He's getting the ball out quickly, and he's doing a nice job. I think so much of that is the line. They're doing a good job. It's also him understanding protections and when he needs to get rid of it, and ultimately with the receivers they have, he wants to get in their hands quickly at times. And then, he will take his shots down the field. So I think it's a combination of the quarterback and the line.
The amount of 3 wides that they do in the shotgun, the amount that he's in the shotgun, how much of a change is that from, a normal defensive week, I guess?
Yeah, I think week to week, you really do hone in on the attack that you're seeing that week, and it changes so much. So for them, it is heavy 11, it is shotgun, but nothing says that they can't get under center versus us. So being prepared for all the things they can do. But, having gone against Burrow and this offense the last few years, I think it's really that game of they can try this, we can counter with this. So kind of playing the game, see where they want to go come Monday night. But certainly it's been a lot of that shotgun three wides and wide open.
Before you pivot to the next game plan, how much time do you spend going back and looking at situationally what kind of plays you called in the previous game?
Versus them or last week?
So last week. So in other words, when you went back and looked at the Baltimore game, how much time do you spend on that?
Quite a bit, because I think they're spending time on it. So you want to know what they're seeing, and you want to it's so important to know yourself, and from a self-scout perspective, what formations mean what down and distance means what personnel means what, because you ultimately want to know what they know. So that is a big part of it.
Players, but as a coach, what's the excitement to be on Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I mean, it's if you're a fan of this league and like myself and growing up, that was a very big deal when your team was on Monday Night Football. On the East Coast, it wasn't good because you had to go to bed early. But it's knowing our fans and knowing how they support this team, and it being Monday night and it being Halloween, I think that's the fun part of this business for us, where we get to go into our place on the lake with a raucous crowd.
Ask your dad to stay up late or a specific game or anything like that?
No, I just not specifics, but you just knew when you heard that intro, and it was your team versus, it was usually the Cowboys. It was usually Eagles Cowboys. Those were some fun memories for me.
Like to not look too far ahead, but the reality is, there's 4 more games with Jacoby before Deshaun can return to the football field. How would you evaluate what he's done to this point on the field, but also off the field? Because it's been a whirlwind, and he just seems like the leadership, just total class act of how he's handled everything to this point.
I don't want to evaluate any of the guys' play. At this point, I think that's for a different time. But I'm happy to speak to Jacoby, the person. He's been invaluable to me, invaluable to this team, just from a leadership standpoint, how he handles himself around the building, the things that he does to push his teammates, I think is what great leaders do, and particularly at that quarterback position, just knowing how much he puts into it on a day-to-day basis, hour to hour, the amount of text messages that are flying between him and his receivers and the tight ends, and watching tape at night and those type of things, I just think it's really priceless when you're talking about leadership from that position.
Last week we spent a lot of time asking you about the connection that Lamar and Mark Andrews had. This week, obviously, it's Burrow and Chase. They're obviously very different players, but are there commonalities you can take over when there's a quarterback who has that certain X-factor connection with the target?
Yeah, I mean, it's a connection with multiple targets. I think that's what makes them dangerous, is his connection with Chase, with Boyd, with Higgins down the field. I mean, they have a lot of reps together. I think they know where they want to put certain guys for certain routes, just like every team does, because there's a comfort level from the receiver to the quarterback position. So I think anytime you're playing a team that – has a lot of banked reps together, it does become dangerous.
You guys go one game at a time, but a lot of people see this as the real pivot point of the season, right? It's another division game. It's before the bye, midway, all that kind of stuff. Is that at all something for you guys that this is a real pivotal game?
It's the Bengals at home. It's Monday night. It's a division opponent. We do put the blinders on, and I think it's just important. You don't look ahead. You can't look behind. We got a great opportunity against a really good football team. That's all we could ask for.
You mentioned Jacoby a couple times. Is it unlikely he can make it Monday night?
He said he's day-to-day, right? I'll stick with that. Yeah, we're all day-to-day.
It's better than week to week. It's week to week on Monday.
He's day-to-day. Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, that's head coach Kevin Stefanski at the podium. Browns fans, there's a new way to cheer on your Cleveland Browns with the help of your favorite four-legged companion. Barking Backers, presented by Milkbone, is the Browns' newest club for pet parents worldwide. Sign up today at barkingbackers.com. Barking Backers, the fan club for dogs. We're back to kick off the show with Bo Bishop and Nathan Zagura next on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Let's do it live on a Thursday? We're here? Are you So for the first time in my life, you're up. Now you're up.
Okay.
For the first time in my life, the coming over here, this is 5 seasons of doing this program, and I always take the Turnpike. For the first time, now there's been accidents, unfortunately, and your heart always breaks for those involved. I've seen accidents on the Turnpike many, many times. I have never seen the Turnpike closed, and that's what I encountered today. So it's 12:20-ish, 20-something in there. I'm usually here by quarter till is typically how long it takes me, thereabouts, 20 till, quarter till. And all of a sudden I'm probably 2 miles outside of 77, and my GPS is saying, no, you're not going to want to stay on this. You got to get out of this. So come to find out, as I get up to the 77 to go south and come to 480 and around, closed. All lanes closed. Westbound.
Jeez.
I've never seen that. I've seen a lane, 2 lanes, sure, never all. So Godspeed and thoughts to whatever happened on the other side of that thing, my friend.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like it can be good.
No, not at all. I can't. So that's and by the way,
huge
P.
Huge P.
It's an incredible job out of you.
Flexing the nest.
I come in hot. We're celebrating various things. Coach wraps up quickly. You're ready and right to it. Crushed it. Huge P out of Gibby. Great job.
Got you, buddy. I'm glad you made it.
I didn't know.
Worried. I'm glad you made it.
I didn't know. Yeah.
By the way, this is from Fox 8. All westbound lanes at milepost 164 are blocked. Traffic being diverted off the Turnpike at exit 173, which is I-77.
Yeah.
And Cleveland.
That's
no other details yet, but
I mean it's closed from 77 to 71. That's a big swath.
Yeah, it's scary,
buddy. Big one. So I've never seen that before. Never. So because when I put in, my car automatically navigates to home and work at certain parts of the day.
Yeah, that's right.
So so as soon as it popped in, I'm used to it saying arrival time. 12:48 or 12:44 or whatever, and it said 1:05, and immediately I'm like, well, this is wrong. What happened here? And then I saw it had me going 77 instead of Turnpike, and that was why, because of whatever had transpired there. So this is a Thursday edition of the program. For the football team is a Wednesday edition of the work week. So that's why you had the Stefanski presser there. Some injury updates for us. In terms of potential, did I see this right, Gibby? I'm catching up on this. It looks like we have several guys not practicing, including obviously a bunch of people we know with Clowney and Miles and JOK and Chief and Teller, Ward and Greedy are all not practicing today. So Dr. Z.
Pharaoh Brown, concussion neck, I'd say 50-50. If he's out of the protocol,
Pharaoh,
he won't play.
That.
Clowney will play. Hopefully he can be closer to 100% because he was not able to play his normal complement of snaps. I saw a lot of people saying, why won't they put Clowney in? They wanted Clowney on the field. He just was not feeling up to it.
I had that exact conversation. I did some out-of-market stuff, and they were like, Clowney was terrible in the game last week. I'm like, dude, he's playing through a lot.
He's playing through a lot of injuries.
A lot of stuff, man. He
wasn't terrible.
He's not, and it's not normal. He's gutting
limited.
it out.
Yeah, very limited. Miles, I think, will play. Jeremiah Wusu-Koromo will play. David Njoku, I'd say trending no, even though he said he's day-to-day. Then again, aren't we all?
Yep.
Wyatt Teller calf feels like no. Denzel Ward concussion feels like no. Greedy illness, yes.
All right, so that's where you stand on all of that as the team gets back on the practice field today.
Yep.
One other development I can say with a pretty good amount of emphatically, Cream is supreme. And this is a
Prince knew it. Wu-Tang Clan knew it.
Knew it.
Cream.
Eric Clapton knew it.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, this is what a job.
Spectacular.
The Cream is unbelievable.
Thank you to our good friends at Homage.
Yeah.
Bravo. I mean,
they crushed this.
This is an electric factory.
It really is. It's been a real head turner here in the building.
Oh, everybody's walking
already.
by.
A lot of envy, and we haven't even seen Swag yet.
Just wait.
Wait till he gets a load of this thing. I mean, this is they did a good job.
We're the senior Swags today.
Yeah, I don't recall when I was thinking back to the starter jacket. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. I can't remember if it was on air or off about the various ones that we had.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I can't tell, with certain exceptions, which is the show and which is not.
Fair.
But we were talking about all of the favorites from time from a bygone era. I don't remember a Browns Cream being
I don't
in the
remember even
repertoire.
ever seeing a cream starter.
No,
of anybody.
I don't either.
You were mad at me because I had a Lakers starter, but it was black.
I would have been mad about that. Yeah, I had the purple one.
It was sweet.
Of course it was. Everything goes with black. It's a cheat code.
Yeah.
Black's a cheat code. So that's why it's.
I was the only person though in the Bay Area with the teal and a white Charlotte Hornets satin, which was just breathtaking.
The crazy thing about the white Charlotte satin, I mean, the pop of the teal is stunning.
Yeah.
Much like on their home uniforms, the white home is unbelievable in those days. At a young age, that is a hell of a gamble with what was an expensive coat at the time.
It was.
Because with white, any sort of nudging, jostling
Sure.
can lead to a satin that is now no longer pure.
No, yeah, and he needed it to be pure. But I mean, all of my starter parkas as a kid were all Hornets.
Big teal guy.
I had the teal
Were
one.
you a Rex guy? What was it?
Rex.
Did the teal pull you to them, or did Rex pull you to them?
Both, kind of simultaneously.
Okay.
It was like, this Hornets, this is sweet. And then the San Jose Sharks in our backyard came out with a black and teal combo. So I did have one parka later on of the Sharks. But I had do you remember the ones that were the colored with a hood? There were, I think, was it a zip-up parka?
What am I hard of
Not the one with
things?
the pouch, but that one. I had a teal Hornets one of that one, which was great.
Yeah, the iconic one was the pouch and the quarter zip with the hood.
That came later. This predated. What I'm talking about predated that.
Yeah. So that's a good job. So we thank them for that. We've got football tonight to get to, so we'll get into that as the program goes along. We'll do a little guessing of the lines coming up on the program today. We've got a scores. Dion Jones, so that's good.
Yeah.
So that was good. So we'll have that
nice
interview
chat.
to look forward to, which is very good. Jacoby Brissett at the podium today as well. The NFL landscape getting very, very interesting here over the next couple of days in terms of we had a trade yesterday with Robert Quinn. We'll get into that a little bit. I want to run something by you I was thinking about this morning because obviously the Ravens play the Bucks tonight in Tampa.
Yep.
Of these three teams, most likely to dig out of what they currently are, all three were contenders in the NFC at the start of the year, the Rams, the Packers, and the Bucks. Which one is most believable to you that a month from now we go, really was nothing? And which is least likely that that's the case?
I'd rank them Packers, Bucks, Rams. I still think the Bucks are talented. They still have Tom Brady. I think the Packers are overall a talented team. I like their defense. I think that they need to make a move for a wide receiver in the next day or so. And then the Rams just seem so flawed to me. Like they're not going to be able to get an offensive line together. Now they may be able to make a trade. Oh, yeah, look, and it's the cream, Podes. It's the cream.
Cream.
Talking about.
This is a man who understands aesthetics.
He gets it.
Yep.
So the Rams just feel more flawed to me than the other two teams. Like all it takes, remember Tom Brady, the year they won the Super Bowl, they got smoked by the Packers.
Yeah.
And at that point, I want to say they were like 6-4 or 5-5. Their record was not great, and then they didn't lose again. So both of those teams feel like they can turn it on. And let's not forget, they won 13 games every year in Green Bay.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll figure it out, but they do need some talent at wide receiver.
Did they they clearly miscalculated what the Adams loss would mean. Remember at the time of that, when he was going to be traded, we thought that it meant, well, Rodgers is out too, but Rodgers he signed up for that.
Yeah.
So he knew that Adams was going to be gone. Did they all miscalculate the talent on their own roster?
I think they did, and they thought, Christian Watson, who they drafted early, would be able to step in. He's been hurt the whole time. Sammy Watkins has been hurt the whole time, guys that they brought in to try to help out. Romeo Dobbs is a rookie and has been inconsistent. So I think it's been, more of a challenge than I think they expected it to be. But, they're still talented. They got two good running backs. They've got, I think they need to make a move. Like if Chase Claypool truly is available,
that's the landing spot.
Go get him. Get him. Like you've got to get Aaron Rodgers some help at wide receiver. So that's what I'm looking at. If they do that, I think they have a chance to be in a very, very good spot.
Yeah, it does feel like the Rams' issues are a little bit more finite on all of it. That they, you probably do that over again. You give up all of the future and
to win
one Super Bowl.
That's all it's about.
But you do feel a little bit that's some borrowed time. I think this is a fascinating weekend for Brady tonight against the Ravens, and I think it's a fascinating weekend even for Belichick to a certain extent, coming off of a beat down by the Bears at your place. They're at the Jets. in a
big
game this weekend. So that's a really big game for them going forward as well. Congratulations to Tom Zivzel on being named the Browns Fan of the Year.
Yeah.
So this happened today.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Tommy was in
actually,
here?
I got Tim, and I got to tell
Tim,
him.
I'm sorry, Tim.
That's all right. I got to tell him, and
you broke the news.
Yeah, I got to be the one who broke the news to him. He was fired up. He got emotional, and he's an incredible story. Been a season ticket holder since 1978. He's missed 5 games in that span.
Wow.
His lovely wife, Kim, 2 of the ones that he missed were the last 2 weeks. She just had brain surgery. She's doing well. I actually got to talk to her today as well. So, but yeah, he loves this team. He wears something Browns every day of his life. He wears a piece of Browns gear every single day. It's always a Browns gear. He had nice on. He couldn't have been a nicer guy.
That's awesome.
It meant the world to him to come in here and to meet us and Coach Stefanski, and it was really cool. They did a good job finding him. He is absolutely worthy of being the Fan of the Year. And he also, in comments that I doubt will ever see the light of day, he did make some comments that made me feel that he had a real kinship with Gibbe in terms of his hatred for the Steelers, which I'm sure you were
a lot
quite
of pits,
pleased.
puke, and squealers, and
he took it
no,
to a
well
whole
beyond.
nother
that.
level.
Beyond that.
Well, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
You're on a pedestal, young man. Well done.
That's right.
So is this a new thing
I don't know,
that
but
we're
he
doing,
gets to
like
go,
this Fan of the Year thing?
He gets to go to the Super Bowl, airfare and lodging,
Oh, yeah.
2 tickets to Super Bowl, the VIP experience at the Super Bowl, the honors,
Which is
NFL honors.
Valley of the Sun this year.
Of course.
Yeah, wow.
This guy makes reservations for the Super Bowl every year in the event that the Browns go. Every year. He does it every single year.
God bless him. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. He's going to be featured on ClevelandBrowns.com, NFL.com, a feature in Sports Illustrated, a feature on Good Morning Football. Like,
That's great.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So that's right. So is this the first year we've done this, or is this?
We had,
I don't remember talking about it last year.
Me neither.
Fan of the Year. Well, they got us involved.
Well, yeah, that'll help.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can help with
so
those things, make things special for people.
It was a home run. I think he's probably like so many of our other fans. Like, it is amazing. They go through everything and they come back, year after year after year.
Well,
they are ride or die with the Cleveland Browns, and Tim, no exception to the rule.
Yeah,
this is as ardent, and this is as bought in of a fan base as there is in all of sport. But there is, this is also the beauty of sport, in that it is the tie that binds. It allows for, it doesn't matter where you came from, where I came from. It doesn't matter what you believe politically or what I believe politically or religiously. It's the one place where you all gather and you have a common interest. There's not many places or things like that left in the world that are, hey, we're all in this together.
We're in it together.
Like, truly, it feels sport is kind of the last thing. Everything else, we pick sides and we fight. In this, if you're in our town, then you're all on our team. Well, and there's a beauty to that.
There's plenty of fighting that goes on about this team.
No, but you know what I mean?
But we all want the same outcome.
During the week,
yes.
But by the time you get to Sunday.
Of course, yeah.
Right? You get to a Sunday, and you're in the Muni lot, or you're getting your way to the game.
You're ready to go.
You're in there on a Monday night, and everyone's going to, hey, man, let's go beat the Bengals. Like, forget about what's happened the rest of the week. You beat the Bengals, and then everybody feels good. And it has the power, especially in these northern cities, it has the power to lift the collective of the entire town. I mean, there's no question about that.
That's why when we win one here, it's going to be the greatest thing in the history of sports.
It'd be like the Cubs, like that type of thing, where you go 100 years and all of that, and the Red Sox and all those years where people just kept showing
curse
up.
of the Bambino.
Right.
Yeah, but they've had, I feel like, better runs.
The Cubs didn't have much.
For a while, yeah.
For a long time, they didn't have much. I mean, they were largely suck.
Yeah.
And they've kind of gone back to that.
Yeah, they didn't have
the
it was
Red
quick.
Sox,
it was right,
at least when
right
they
back.
broke the curse, they had a little run.
Yeah.
A great run.
Yeah. There's no question. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's awesome. I think it's great that Tim personifies that with the Browns Fan of the Year this year. Good job out of him. I loved seeing that.
It was really cool.
Yeah. If you're headed to the Browns-Bengals game Monday night, stop by the newly renovated Bud Light Balcony Bar inside First Energy Stadium from 6:30 to 7:30. Meet a Browns legend and register to win one of 50 NFTs for use in Bud Light Survivor Pick'em game. Bud Light reminds you always enjoy it responsibly. Coming up next, we will go around the league. David Njoku as well at the podium. An interesting one there. We'll get to all of that. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Well, there's nothing quite like tailgating touchdowns and Twisted Tea. It tastes just like real iced tea. Do you know why? Because it's made with real brewed tea. Cool, refreshing, and just a 5% kick of alcohol. It's thirst down and gold. Twisted Tea, hard iced tea. Keep it twisted. And now here's the Chief at the podium from earlier today. Let's have a listen.
Do you think it's
You're down.
play Monday versus Cincy because you have the bye after that?
I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll
It
see.
hasn't happened.
It happened on the shovel pass. I guess I just got tackled in a funny way. So
There's a lot of traffic on that play.
When no right away, David, because you stayed in the next snap, right?
yeah, it felt a little funny, but I tried to play through it. So I stayed in the next snap, and then I went to see the trainer afterwards.
David, numbers look really good. Do you feel this is your best season? Maybe since you haven't yet caught 56 balls.
Well, the season's not over yet. You know, let's see how it goes.
So with all the new modalities these days and all the things that you can do in the regen room and all of that, I mean, do you have a slight chance of possibly getting on field Monday night even?
We will see. It's not really it is my choice, but at the end of the day, I'm communicating with the trainers the right way. We're trying to figure out what's best. So we'll keep you posted.
You were in the midst of a really great game when you suffered the ankle sprain. Are you showing this season what you're capable of and what you can do?
I mean, whatever they ask me to do, I try to do at the best of my ability. So, yeah, just here to work and help the team.
What kind of treatment are you getting on that ankle?
All the treatments.
What does that mean?
It means I'm getting it worked on, and I'm working on it. I'm doing whatever I can to do to get back healthy.
David, Bill Petonian said after the game that losing you is a big loss and you're a big part to what they do, but kind of obviously next man up mentality. The people that could step in, whether it's Harrison, Brian, or what can we expect from them come Monday if you're unable to go?
Yeah, I mean, first off, the whole tight end room, we have amazing athletes, you know, with Harrison, Farrow, Miller, Zaire, you know, so I'm not really too worried about them picking up the slack. I know they work hard every day. They prepare as if they are tight end one, so I expect them to, you know, just pick up exactly where I left off. So, yeah, I'm excited to see them play, for sure.
If you had to miss this game, and it's such a huge game, I guess the question is just how much are you just itching to get out there and be able to help?
I'm itching, man. I mean, it's a whole different lifestyle, you know, being injured or, you know, getting back from injury.
30.
Yeah, the fastest I feel able to play, the fastest I will play.
There's never a good time for an injury, but considering the way the schedule sets up with the bye week being after Monday night, is that in the back of your mind that you might just only
10
on if I have to miss any
Yeah,
time,
for sure.
just because the way it lays out?
For sure. I mean, the bye week definitely helps. So let's just see. You know, let's just see where we are and just go from there.
You're up.
I mean, your heart breaks for him because he was becoming what he was paid to do and what he was drafted to do. He had become that this year. And that's a brutal, brutal loss for us, but also for him because despite a disappointing start to the season, he's been anything but.
50-plus in 5 straight, 70 yards or more in 4 of the last 5. He's 34 receptions or 4th among tight ends, 418 yards, 3rd among tight ends, 2nd on the Browns in every category, and he's a great blocker. So, yeah, he has been phenomenal for the Browns. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And you hate to lose him, and you wonder now, you know, Harrison Bryant's career high is 56 yards. Came against the Bengals.
Yeah.
But, you know, do we have somebody who can fill those shoes? Yes, admire.
Yeah,
Sure.
there's a lot of that
Join
lot
the
going
society.
around. Lot of that going around, kids. You know who I'd love to see?
Swag. That's what I want.
Swag, but then also Mellon. I'd like to see Mellon
yeah.
get a look because he's always taunting us.
Yeah. Now we're taunting.
That's what I would like.
Yeah.
Just one little image of him. I'd like him to get his eyes on these. Go ahead.
A similar vein. Did you see Matthew Perry? Have you seen these things that have come out about his memoir? Why does he hate Keanu Reeves so much?
So that I didn't understand. I thought it was funny how there was something about how he was in love with Jennifer Aniston, and I thought, well, yeah,
sure.
I think everybody at that time was.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't anybody on the globe who was like, I could give or take her.
Yeah.
You know, so that really wasn't too surprising to me. I don't know what my hunch is. It was over a chick. Isn't that usually what it is?
They said there's no connection between them at all. But like the point, and the way that he said it, it wasn't like I hate Keanu Reeves. What he would say is like when somebody died that was really close to him, he'd be like, I can't believe this person's gone, and Keanu Reeves walks among us. Like that's the.
But
phrasing.
what's the problem of what did Keanu Reeves do then?
Upset, offended that Keanu Reeves was living when these other people were dying.
Did he steal?
Did he do him wrong?
I don't know.
Like,
Nobody. Barstool's tried to investigate it. There so far we've had nothing concrete. Nobody gets it.
Here's the deal. Like you guys have seen, like how Keanu appears to be like the best guy ever,
the nicest. Yeah.
Like he'll do like stop by weddings and take pictures, and if he seems like the nicest dude ever.
Agreed.
I have not heard a bad thing.
No. And you weren't on a tour bus with Keanu Reeves at any point, were you?
No.
Okay, I just want to
If
make sure.
anybody was, it would have been.
It would have been Gibbe.
I hope you weren't on a
Chronicles of Gibbe.
a public transit bus with him either, because
no, that
got dicey.
Certain speed you got to keep it up to, my friend.
Maintain it.
Hell of a drop off to go from him to like what Jason Patrick on a boat in Speed 2. That was that was the sales pitch.
No, I
didn't run that one back.
Fast.
Speed was great.
Yes.
Hopper.
It was a thrill ride.
It really was. Yeah. I mean, he's near and dear to our hearts. He's Johnny Utah.
One of the best movies.
Bill and Ted's.
Period.
That was on
the other night.
It was. It always blows my mind when people say that they, and I know you don't have cable anymore, but I still really enjoy bouncing around.
Yep.
So
Same.
And seeing I'll watch this until I'll watch Roadhouse till a commercial, and then I'm going to jump over and watch Speed till a commercial in between watching some meaningless basketball game on a Wednesday.
A little taste.
Taste of everything.
Yeah,
Just
sure.
paratroop in on things.
It's like dim sum television.
Yeah.
I'll have a bao bun over here. I'll have a soup dumpling. I might have bring that. I'm going to go 2 soup dumplings.
Run that over here.
Yeah.
That's how that goes. Last night they did the debut of Stephen A's World.
So
I was watching the Cavs,
cast, but NBA.
Yeah, I was watching Cavs, and then when they would go to commercial, I was looking for something else, and I popped over to. I saw that they were doing it. I'd read about it earlier in the week. It really is perfect in the same way that Manning Cast is perfect for a football game you don't care about, because you're basically getting you're watching a game with Stephen A. and Wilbon is how it started. Now, the cast wasn't necessarily what I think it's going to be.
Yeah.
Like Jalen was in there. It was like a lot of their NBA guys was in it. It was like in a studio in New York as opposed to like in his house or whatever.
Sure.
But at certain points they would cut to like the Black Panther premiere, I guess was last night, and he was like commenting about Angela Bassett, about how fine she was and all this. Like that for a game that I did not care about. I mean, it's a meaningless game. It's Nets and Bucks at the end of October. Who cares?
It was fun.
But I probably watched for 15 minutes just listening to him comment on the game. They were making so much fun of Ben Simmons.
Is he able to give you, from a hoops perspective, what like Peyton gives you from a football perspective?
No.
Yeah.
No, well, I think he could.
Fun.
I mean, I think he's been around it enough. I mean, basketball isn't as complicated as football.
Agreed.
It's pretty straightforward.
Right. Yeah.
So you don't have to say, like, what are they in? It's obvious what offense or defense they're in. The plays aren't that complicated.
Right.
They're all quick hitters. There's not a whole lot. But I thought it was effective for sure. As we mentioned, a Thursday night football game, I was thinking about this morning. Could you imagine, like, Al Michaels after the games that they've called the last few weeks, like seeing Tom Brady and be like, yes, I know you. We're used to having discourse.
It's been a long time.
I used to do the biggest game of the week every week.
Yeah.
Now I'm cashing a lot of checks, but
great checks.
I'm getting some dog games, and so I'm fun. I'm into this one tonight.
This is the first one
Since
that
the
has
opener.
a feel like, this is right. This is the game of the week.
Yeah, it is the first one since Chargers and Chiefs that has the type of gravity that Al is certainly used to on that one.
That he's zesting for.
Yeah. This one's we have like we laid out this a little bit yesterday. And by Monday we'll be talked our way into it because Tampa Bay will beat the Ravens, and then we'll be just
Boy,
then all of a sudden you beat the
I
Bengals.
hope they do.
Then all of a sudden you beat the Bengals and you're a game out. You're right back in it, baby. 2-1 in the division. Let's go.
Let's go.
The Eagles, and I thought that this would be we talked about this yesterday. I think there's so many teams that think they have a shot at it that this is going to be a pretty busy trade deadline. We've seen trades today. Robert Quinn goes from the Bears to the Eagles in exchange for a 4th-round pick. You knew that he was on the block. The Eagles are the ones who get it done, and they don't need help on the D-line. And now this is just an embarrassment of riches.
Had we been 5-2,
yeah,
I think we would have been big time in on Robert Quinn. Had we been in a position where like we were first in our division and okay, this is real.
Yep.
I think that we would have been in on Robert Quinn. I think there's a good
Seems
chance
like it makes all the sense in the
he could have
world.
been a Brown. Yeah.
So there you are on that. This within the last hour or so, Kadarius Toney has been traded from the Giants to the Chiefs. So I think that one is fascinating because the Giants are in the mix. Obviously, they're 6-1.
Yep.
The Chiefs. It speaks more to, I guess, Kansas City feels like they need more receiver help. He was drafted last year. You will remember, guys. This is the guy who Urban Meyer said we were going to draft him. He's a University of Florida product. We were going to draft him, and then we couldn't, so we basically panicked and drafted Travis Etienne out of Clemson.
Travis Etienne looks great.
Looks
now.
great.
They just got rid of James Robinson.
Right. But so now he moves a year and a half into his career. First-round pick.
And if you look, last year he had a 3-game stretch that was ridiculous. He had a 3-game stretch where he was like winning fantasy games single-handedly, and then he can't stay healthy. That's one thing.
No.
He has not been able to stay healthy so far in his young career. But a very talented guy, somewhat enigmatic, I think would be a fair way to say it.
Yeah.
Like he played week 1. He's played 2 games this year. He hasn't played since week 2.
Just
Last
must
year,
not get along. I don't know. I'm not following them. Like, is he just
he's kind of been the odd man out. Yeah.
first-round pick and he can't find his way on the field? It's just strange.
Health has been a problem, and he's been fighting with people. But he had, I guess it wasn't it was a 2-game stretch. He had 6 for 78, all in the second half against New Orleans. That was like his debut. Then the next week against Dallas, he has 10 for 189 and a touchdown. And then, 10 for 189, and then that was it. Then he got hurt again, and then that was it. Very strange.
Yeah, high ceiling on him. Though.
Little news out of Cincinnati.
All right.
Trey Hendrickson not practicing. He had to leave that game Sunday with a little stinger in the neck and still not practicing today.
And
it
neither did Jamar
like
Chase.
Day 1 of practice.
Neither did Jamar Chase. But, I mean, look at our list as well, and I'm sure that they probably
I keep reminded that really the one we're going to be paying attention to is Saturday. Right?
Saturday.
Yep.
So that'll be the
final
that we're talking about a little bit. The Pats going back to Mac Jones over Bailey Zappi to start a quarterback Sunday against the Jets. Honestly, that makes sense. You drafted Mac in the first round. He's your guy. Like they went to Zappi, and if Mac fails, then he needs the rest of this year to fail, and then if they want to move off him, they can.
For sure. And, I think if Zappi had come in and they beat the Bears, it's different.
You could roll.
But it didn't happen, so I think now they're moving on. Yeah.
We talked about this a little bit yesterday with Russ Wilson's plane workout. He's still listed as question. He thinks he's playing in this game, but he's kind of like a partial participant. Did we ever figure out if that stuff from Barstool I showed you yesterday was real? Was that real? The stuff with him and the Athletic was allegedly from the Athletic, like the PMT put out.
Supposedly, I don't know.
Crazy.
I didn't go vet it. It feels real, which is all you need to say.
He's reached the point.
Yes.
Simmons used to do the thing that the Tyson zone.
Yeah, he's in the Tyson.
He's in the Tyson zone where anything could be said or done, and you'd be like, "Well, that's plausible."
100% the Tyson zone.
Zeke Elliott will not play Sunday against the Bears due to a knee sprain, per Tom Pelissaro on that. And finally, we talked about the Titans' new stadium renderings. The Bills have released their renderings for a new non-dome stadium to be completed by the fall of 2026. I think it's crazy to not do a dome, but it looks great. But I just think
beautiful,
it's
and they're doing that thing that I've heard talked about where the roof kind of comes over, and that's supposed to help with wind flow so that no wind actually goes down into the stadium.
So
and
it just keeps your temperature. The other thing I wondered, in the images, they had it looked like red rings around several, and I wondered if those were like heat lamps in certain areas. If you look at it close, there's red all the way around it, and I don't know if that was just to illuminate the color red for the Bills, or if it was like because it was over like a couple of the club levels and stuff. I wondered if there was going to be like some sort of a heat lamp situation,
which is
because one of the things that they said makes sense. One of the things that they said in the release was we want it to be a place where you feel warm and safe. I've never been to Buffalo. I'm guessing it's wonderful, but typically when I think of Buffalo, I think of cold and unsafe. So the opposite.
And that's why they're leaning into warm and safe.
Right.
Well,
so
come on in.
How do you make it warm if it's outdoors? I mean, you can go a long way with heated seats.
It does look
right. Looks like heated.
It does look like a heating lamp.
Yeah. So I wondered if it was like heating lamps in a couple of the areas that were
levels for sure.
Right, isn't it? It's on like the 2 club levels, and I don't know. I made me wonder if they had plans to find a way to keep certain parts of the stadium warm.
I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
Well, that would be ideal, wouldn't it? Isn't that what you'd want? If you could have an outdoor stadium where you could also have the elements but also be warm. You could do heated seats.
So you're saying this like
I have no idea. It's just when I saw it and
there's a glow.
Right. When I saw it and then I thought and I read the release saying that one of the things they wanted was it for be a place that feels warm and safe. I thought, well, the only way you get warm is with heat because
it feels like you're only warm though and very specific. You've got to be seated really close to these things, and I feel like then are people going to be burned up? Like
I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that that's what it is.
Yeah.
But
down in here, you're getting nothing.
You get nothing down there. But
no. The
also
best seats, nothing.
No, but the best money
Clubs,
seats though
sure.
have that
Heat.
the heat. So maybe that's what they're going for there.
Yeah.
Don't you think you'd go a long way if you just put heated seats in? Wouldn't that go a long way?
Yeah, I
like that would be cost.
I wonder what the just the energy requirements would be to do that, and then how do you keep that safe in the elements with the snow?
No idea.
I don't know.
They figured it out in every car.
Yeah, but it's also indoors.
It's valid. It's valid. It's true. Yeah, it's true. I don't know. The warm part of it, the fact that they wanted it warm, made me think, well, you must be doing something.
Some type of heating element
to get that done. When a medical mistake caused your injury, call the medical malpractice attorneys at 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Elk & Elk's a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Jacoby Brissett from the podium coming up. We will have Guess the Lines, as we always do as well. All of that coming up here in the second hour. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
You're up.
Hey, Browns fans, skips the chore of laundry. Joy Life, not laundry. Tide Cleaners offering 30% off dry cleaning for the month of October. Be entered to win 4 VIP Browns tickets to an upcoming home game. Just mention the promo code Browns. Visit TideCleaners.com to find the closest location to you. Some exclusions may apply. And now let's head to the podium. Our quarterback, Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby, what does it mean to
You're down.
Have your teammates come out and support and really make a lot of kids, make their evening?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a great event. Our CR team did a really good job of putting it all together and teaming up with Luda's heroes. And obviously the players coming out and supporting it was awesome. Brought a lot of smiles and a couple tears in the crowd. But overall, it was a great event. Definitely puts a lot of things in perspective.
What was your favorite costume?
Oh, it was a lot. From the players or from the kids?
Anything you saw?
I don't know. We had a bunch of good ones. I thought Joel was pretty good. He actually brought that with him, so he actually had it in his house for a little bit. So that was good. Yeah, I thought all the little kids looked cute. So there's a lot of good costumes.
Brothers?
No, they got it for me, so I just put it on. Yeah, yeah.
Jacoby, can you just talk about the magnitude of this game and where you guys are heading into it, just from a mindset standpoint?
Yeah, obviously it's the next game on the only one we all have promised together is this next one. Obviously a divisional opponent, yeah, we need a win. I think that's the mindset. We understand that it's not just going to happen. It's going to start today, and honestly, it started after the game in Baltimore. So all our focus is on Cincinnati and trying to find a way to get a win.
You guys ready for the Monday Night Football factor, and then also you guys should have a pretty good home field advantage. I mean, it is Halloween, and you know how Browns fans.
I mean, honestly, the Monday night thing doesn't really. It's just another football game in this league. So I think that's the mindset that we're taking is we got to find a way to block out all the noise and all the distractions and focus in on this one.
How do you build off personally what you did in that Baltimore game?
Just continue to do what I've done throughout this year and just going back and sticking to what I know is right. I thought we had a good plan for Baltimore. Obviously, it was close, but you don't really win games with being close. So just find a way to make one more play and make one more good decision, and figuring out how to attack this team.
Setting the results aside, and I know those do matter, and the New England game aside, do you feel like though you've played pretty well?
For sure. Definitely thought I've played well in spots, and obviously the results are the main objective. So yeah, just finding a way to continue to play better and putting this team in the best position to win.
Go ahead, Mike.
David Njoku has meant a lot to you, in this first part of the season. If you have to be without him in this game, that's kind of tough, huh?
Oh, for sure. Somebody else better mean a lot to me soon then.
Just based on that question, the fact that you guys rely so heavily on multiple tight ends, and if you're without David and without Farrell, how does that change? Does that significantly change what you guys do schematically?
I wouldn't say significantly because we played with one tight end on the field a lot this season. It just gives other guys to step up, opportunity to step up and make plays, and I think guys are up for the challenge. Obviously, putting the plan together around those, I wouldn't even consider them setbacks, but circumstances, and then finding ways to put our other guys in the best position possible.
I mean, do your reads change a lot if you guys are more spread out with three wides and more,
No, usually it's whoever's open gets the ball, and hopefully that stays true. Rather, whoever's out on the field.
Jacoby, the last 2 games, Hunt's targeted 3 times in the passing game, and his carries are significantly down. What's the reasoning behind Kareem Hunt?
I don't make the decisions like that, so you'll probably have to ask Kevin on that one.
If he's the third down back and included on the 2-minute team, shouldn't he be getting more action in these close?
Again, that's a question for Kevin, so I'm sure his interview soon.
Jacoby, you've known for a long time how long you would be the starter here, and this is what you signed up for. Is it easy for you to block that out, though, that I may only have 4 more starts left this season?
Definitely. I never really thought about the duration of it, more so just the journey of it. I've had a lot of fun, and I'm continuing to have fun, and going out there and trying to do my best. And yeah, so that's all I've been thinking about.
Jacoby, you guys have a lot of talent here, and you've got a lot of really, really good guys in this locker room too. So I guess like it just feels like something's missing. Do you know what that like? Have you been able to kind of figure out what? That is?
No, because if I figured it out, I would have probably told everybody what it was. You know, it's you know, this league is so up and down, and you know, you just got to find your streak, and it's a league of streaks, and you know, it's like a 3-point shooter. Once you hit one, hopefully you see more go down, and that gives you the confidence to understand that you know that they'll start falling your way. So you know, we just got to hit our streak, and you know, and it's really just finding a way to get one, and then not necessarily just games, but good play after good play after good play after good play, and then hopefully those will pile into a win.
Jacoby, you've talked about kind of walking out the 4 games and taking the journey. I mean, how would you describe this journey to this point? Because it's been a kind of a whirlwind,
yeah,
a roller coaster in the NFL. Just how would you describe how?
It's definitely been that. It's been a roller coaster. Yeah, it's been nothing short of fun. It's been a great time. Obviously enjoyed every week. I mean, I know my emotions don't show it to you guys, but I actually do enjoy what I do, and it's just been a lot of fun. Like it's like a kid, you know.
When you just related to the idea of the journey, and then how you're scheduled to change roles here, so to speak. You've made an impact as a leader. Can you continue to do that when that switch occurs?
Yeah, I think that's what makes me who I am. You know, nothing. My circumstances don't change who I am. That's what I mean. I'm a teammate first, so I'll continue to be that no matter what the circumstances are, and figure out something else to do. Right.
When you said at the beginning that this is the next game is the only one promised to this group. Is that a nod at all to the trade deadline coming up?
Oh, no, I didn't even think about that. Damn, I should better choice of words, huh? No, I mean, you just think about, I mean, obviously A-Walk's one of my best friends, but you just thinking about, you know, him, and it's just like, every day, like I tell him, every day I walk into the building, I think about you because, you know, these aren't promised, you know, and the only thing we have is the one right now. And I think that's the mindset that I like to carry just because, listen, I don't know when the train's going to stop for me. But where I'm here, I'm just enjoying it, you know.
Hey, Jacoby, when you're going through a spell like this, a losing streak, does a team get tight? Is this team tight right now? That
what do you mean tight?
You know, that one mistake, you're trying so hard not to make a mistake.
No, I don't think so. I just think, you know, we have to find ways to minimize the mistakes. It's not like mistakes are going to happen in this league. Like, the other teams get paid too, so they have good players too. So we understand that. It's just more so we just got to find a way to make one more play here, one more play there, and then, like I said, like hopefully you pile up enough good plays to where it equals a win.
You guys got an extra day yesterday, so to speak. The bye week's coming up. Is this a good time for you guys to, I guess, maybe recharge the battery a little bit and just kind of go through a little bit of a reset?
Well, honestly, I mean, we got to go to a game, so we can't recharge right now, you know. So I think the whole thing is just to empty the tank this week and just see what happens, you know. That's how you always play, but even more so knowing the situation and being a division game, needing to win. You know, just empty the tank, and then when it's time to recharge, we recharge.
Was it nice to be able to hit, a number of the deeper balls in that last game? And do you think going forward that, will loosen things up for you guys?
I mean, it was nice. Obviously, I love completing the ball, but yeah, I mean, teams obviously have to respect it. At spots last week they didn't, and we took advantage of it. And that's the case every week. Sometimes teams just respect it because of the nature of their defense, and sometimes they don't, which is the nature of Baltimore's defense. And it was good to capitalize on a couple of those, and and being able to do it on the fly.
Jacoby, you get charged when you lose a fumble, right? You get charged with it.
I'm aware.
Right. When you go back and watch it, like, do you feel like that's just bad luck that you're trying to get rid of the ball and the guy hits it, or do you feel like, man, maybe there's something I could have done better?
I mean, you always think of like, damn, what could I have done differently? And then some is just like, hey, it's just the process of football, So yeah.
Jacoby, obviously you knew Nick Chubb was an elite back when he came here. Is there something that you've gained an appreciation about him that you didn't have before?
I just didn't know how elite he was until I got here. Obviously watching him throughout the league and seeing him every week on ESPN and stuff like that. But when you come and you see, his work ethic and his attention to detail, and then you actually see him go out in the game, it's the crazy
1 minute
surprise, but it should be because that's not very normal.
What about Trey Hendrickson? Is he somebody that you've got, to keep an eye on and be wary of?
Oh, definitely. A guy that has a high motor, play a lot of good football in this league. Definitely somebody that we obviously are paying attention to in this game.
When it looked like Jed struggled a little bit Sunday against the Ravens, do you have conversations with him when that happens, or following that, just keep his spirits up or whatever?
No, I didn't think he struggled. I mean, plays happen here and there. Like I said, they get paid too. But it's nothing that I can say to him or anybody, really, to that matter if somebody thinks that they don't play well. It's just
30.
And this league is guys just got to rise to the occasion the next week. And it's he's played good throughout this whole year. So I don't think there'll be a downfall.
What was David Njoku doing so well in the first 7 games of the season?
Catching the ball, getting open, which is his job, right, and blocking. And I think he was really on the rise. I don't think his season's over.
Come back.
It's a little hiccup, so no, he's definitely going to be missed for sure.
And OBM, the official printer partner of your Cleveland Browns. Will you depend on your Browns to win? You can depend on OBM. They tackle any size office. Call 216-485-2000 or visit ohiobusinessmachines.com. We'll go over some fantasy football. There's a lot going on, especially with some of these trades that have been made out there. We will get to that. Plus, we will guess the spread on all of the games, see how Dr. Z does there. It's coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850. One more. Nope. 850 ESPN Cleveland. The Bath Authority gives you the bathroom of your dreams. Why not transform your current bathroom into
Why
a
not?
custom bath for a spa-like experience? They can do it for you in about a day. Let the Bath Authority make it a reality for you at a fraction of the cost of the competitors. The Bath Authority is Cleveland's premier bath and shower remodeler. Expert factory-trained installers. Call now. You get $500 off your next custom bath or shower remodel. That number is 216-220-8399 or go to thebathauthority.com. It's where affordability meets quality. The largest selection of bath projects are all made in the United States. Change your bathroom from outdated to outstanding. Superior products and expert installers at thebathauthority.com, 216-220-8399, thebathauthority.com. All right, Dr. Z, you ready for a little fantasy?
Oh, this is nice doodling.
You like that?
Yeah, it's a good.
It's terrible. My the middle boy Beamsy has a gift for some of the artistic ways, and I was talking to NBC about it, and he laments the fact that he does it. And I said, well, look, there are things you're good at. My middle brother, for example, was a pretty good artist. I have an uncle who was an artist professionally, had an art gallery and all of these things out in Seattle. And so
what kind of art?
Mostly Western art, and then Western wildlife art. So.
Can I see some of his wares? This
Yeah,
is kind of
I'll
stuff
pull
that
it up
I'm
for
into.
you. Yeah, I'll show it to you. Yeah.
Does he have any Suarus, any Southwestern, or mostly like?
No, mostly Northwestern. Yeah.
Makes
so,
sense. Makes sense.
Anyway, so I said, you had that in you. I said, everyone has different gifts. Like, Beamsy's not crazy about the public speaking and all of that. So, like, everyone has their own gifts, my man. So, the long story short, I have no artistic gifts.
I don't either.
About all I'm good at is the Nike app. I can do a pretty good shoe design.
Yeah, you can pick colors.
Yeah, I can pick colors. Made sneaker.
Exactly.
I can tell you that cream's going to look good with our colors.
Yeah.
That I can tell you.
Yeah.
And I know that it does. All right, Week 8 fantasy football, my friend. Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Where do you sit on a guy like Jameson Williams?
I'm holding him. I mean, I have keeper leagues. Like in a seasonal league, if you have the room on your bench to hold him, I would still hold him because I know how good I think he is.
Yeah.
And so that talent I like, they're going to be a team that's going to be throwing the ball around the yard.
And they're decimated now.
It's a little concerning that he's not back yet, don't you think?
It is, and I heard Campbell this week say he's still a month out, which was
so in a
surprising
seasonal
to me.
league you can get rid of him. In a keeper league, though, I would hold on to him.
Yeah,
that's what I'd say. I made a huge trade last night while at Spodos.
I like it.
Huge.
Let's hear
trade.
about it. What'd you do?
So this is in the AFFL, in the league with the Miz, and me and Vince, the Sooning Snakes, were in first.
Mm-hmm.
We got the most points, number one in the power rankings. Our team is pretty loaded. So it's a 12-team league, and we've got Lamar Jackson. Our running backs are Austin Eckler, Etienne, Ramondre Stevenson, David Montgomery, and Herbert, both Chicago backs. Our receivers, and you only start 3, and you start 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and a flex. So you only need 5 out of these groups. Our receivers are Justin Jefferson, DeAndre Hopkins, T. Higgins, and Gabe Davis.
Jeez.
We also have Pickens on the bench and Jameson Williams on the bench.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good.
Our tight end is Goddard.
Okay.
So we looked at our team and we're like, we're super deep. If there's a way to upgrade and turn Goddard into, say, a Kelsey.
Yeah.
And give up one of our running backs, one of our receivers.
Yeah.
Along with it. Let's do it. So the Miz has been decimated by injury. His team is dreadful.
You preyed on the Miz.
So we floated out to him a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Etienne, who's a 15th round keeper in this league, so that's a great value. Goddard and Pickens. Pickens also a keeper.
Who does he have?
His team is awful.
But who does he have at tight end that you're hunting?
Kelsey. So, but he's like starting like Kenneth Gainwell, Kenyon Drake, or starting at running back for him.
So if I were a competitor of yours in this league, I would tell Mike, you're not winning anything anyway. Like getting Pickens and who did you say? Pickens, Goddard, and
Etienne.
You're not going to win anything anyway. If you give him Kelsey, you're handing him the championship.
Okay. So, but again, to the other point is you're not winning anything anyway. He's got the second lowest points in the league.
Is there some sort of payment that he has to make if he finishes last?
No, but he's getting. And then we offered him Ramondre, who's been great. He's like, I only want Eckler.
Good move by him.
So we're like, you're not getting Eckler.
It's a bit of a deal breaker.
I was like, we had the first pick in the draft.
So he went too far back.
We had the first pick in the draft. We picked Eckler. If we wanted Kelsey, we'd have picked Kelsey.
Him. Yeah.
And by the way, Eckler's number 1 in all of fantasy football.
Yeah, so you can't do that.
So we're going for weeks and weeks. Nothing. And he's like, leave me alone. And then he comes back and he's like, his demand was now he wants Etienne. They trade James Robinson.
Oh,
so for
now
2
he's
weeks
all
he didn't want
excited.
it. So now he wants Etienne.
So now you're saying, hey, I want a little sweetener back.
So we dropped Herbert. He picks up Herbert for like all of his free agent budget, the backup running back in Chicago. So like, we'll give you Montgomery.
Any association with your franchise he wants. Yeah.
Well, like, we'll give you Montgomery.
So now you're
married.
married.
Both Chicago. We'll give you Pickens, who's a keeper and has outscored every single one of his receivers over the last 4 weeks, and we'll give you Goddard for Kelsey. And we needed Kelsey and Schultz because Kelsey's on a bye this week. No. Says no to this. I only want Etienne now. So now we've already moved from Eckler down to Etienne, which is where we originally were. So I said, we'll give you Etienne and Goddard for...
Someone's playing checkers.
Hold on.
Someone else is playing chess.
So I go, we'll
here.
give you Etienne and Goddard.
Yeah.
You got to give us Herbert, since now we're giving away a running back who's a keeper, and now he's a bell cow. You got to give us Herbert back to protect Montgomery as our third running back. We need Kelsey and Schultz.
Yep.
No, I won't do that. I want Gabe Davis. You're not getting Gabe Davis.
That's
in
not
Etienne. It's
happening.
not happening.
Yeah.
Then we're not doing it. So then I'm like, all right. He hits me back up, and I'm like talking to him literally at Spotos. I'm like, all right, listen, we'll give you Pickens too. He goes, oh, you'll give me Pickens? Yeah, I'll give you Pickens. He goes, I think you have a deal.
So wait a second. You're right back to your original
Did you
deal?
circle him back?
That's right. And he thought giving him Pickens was a sweetener. So now we have Kelsey. So now our starting lineup is Lamar Jackson.
So you've won the league.
Lamar Jackson, Eckler, Ramondre Stevenson, Justin Jefferson, Hopkins, either Higgins or Gabe Davis, and Kelsey.
You've won the league.
We have 4 people in the top 12 in
How did he
scoring
not
in the league.
realize that was your original deal that he rejected? And now Pickens is a sweetener.
What has the reaction been to the rest
in
of
the rest of
guys
the
in
league? Are they can't be pleased? They
Dead
have to be just
silence.
going,
Yeah. We've been
So
posting,
what is
and
happening?
Vince loves it, so he's posting like Travis Kelsey gifs in all the league chats all over the place.
Is Mike aware that he's been had here?
No, he's like, look, I got Etienne now. You can make the case that Etienne would be drafted right now in our league ahead of
but
Kelsey.
that guy that he is right now, second to last in the league.
But he's got a winning record, so he's still trying to play for this
But
year.
what's he going to play for? He's not better than you.
No.
So like my whole thing with fantasy football is if I can't win it all, what do I care?
So he's getting the best keeper for next year. I mean,
That's the
Etienne in the
incentive.
15th
That's
round
pretty
is as
good,
good a
yeah.
keeper as you're going to have.
That's funny. God, that's
So
great.
now we have like the number one receiver,
Yeah,
the
you're
number one
gonna win
running
the
back.
league. Yes,
there are only 2
right.
tight ends of real consequence.
There's only 2. You've got one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
It's pretty ridiculous. Yeah. It's
And
gonna
if
be
he gets
fun.
hurt, we had Dalton Schultz, who's not
bad.
No slouch himself.
Yeah. You're safe on that front, my friend, to say the least. Who do you like in fantasy this week?
You got me.
Other than you.
Yeah. Quite a bit me. Quarterback wise, obviously from guys that are not like automatic starts, I think Kirk Cousins against Arizona. I like Tua against Detroit. Roll them both out. Danny Dimes is starting to enter some of that starting conversation, and he gets Seattle, so I like that as well. The running back position, you got some good players on buys. No Austin Eckler, the number 1 back in the league. He is out. I hope everybody got Kenneth Walker when we told you to. I like Raheem Mostert against Detroit this week. I like Tony Pollard against Chicago, as well as Zeke in that one. I think those guys are both fine plays. Wide receivers, kind of from the middle of the pack type of guys. You know, boy, it's so hard. I have to pick between Gabe Davis and T. Higgins for my third receiver this week. What am I going to do? I don't know. Brandon Ayuk. Looks like Terry McLaurin is back with Heineke. That's something that was true the last time they'd played together as well. Alan Lazard, and then Pickens averaging over 12 points a game the last 4. Keep him in your lineups. Tight ends, Dalton Schultz, not just because I have him, but he's on the waiver wire in a bunch of leagues. I would highly recommend picking him up. I think he is a fine start for your teams. Freiermuth is coming on nicely. And then Taysom Hill, you always got to roll Taysom Hill. I think he's a good start for you as well. Defensively, if somebody cut the Eagles during their bye week, get them immediately. That is insanity. They are dominant, and they just got Quinn. They're going to be even better. There you go.
Singletary or Melvin Gordon?
I'm not Melvin Gordon, so Singletary.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely not Melvin Gordon.
All right, there you go.
There it is.
That's where you stand. All right, you ready for this? Oh,
Good.
we need one of our guys. Who do you like for us against Cincinnati, other than the obvious?
I mean, Harrison Bryant is a fine. I think you can pick up and play Harrison Bryant this week. I think he will, especially in a PPR, he's going to catch 4 or 5 passes, most likely. 40
we only
yards,
throw it to 3 people.
Chance to right, and he's going to be one of those 3.
So he's going to have to be one of the 3.
Yeah.
And he probably can't come off the field much.
No.
So
No.
he's in play the whole time, and it's the only other 2 are Donovan and Amari. That's it.
Yep.
So that's the way that's going to go. All right, you ready for this?
Yeah. What do we have? 14 again. The goal is to get to you want me at.
You've got.
You want 8 and 6? You want 9? You're always looking for 9 and 5, which is out. We do that with the scores. That's hard to do on Pick the Lines.
Is it possible we have 15?
Are there only 2 teams on bye? Just the Chargers.
And the Chiefs are
Chargers
down.
and Chiefs. Yeah, that's it.
That's
Chargers
it.
and
So we have
Chiefs. That's
15
it.
games this week. I think
Yep.
a winning record for you is 9.
9 and 6.
I think you're happy if you do 9. You go
I'd be
9 and
thrilled.
6. You'd be happy.
Yeah.
You could live with 8 and 7.
All right.
All right. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
All right. Tonight, Baltimore at the Bucks. Baltimore at Tampa Bay.
Bucks minus 1.5.
Got it. -2. Nailed it. Off to a good start. You were last week as
I
well.
am a fast starter.
You're dialed in. You're always dialed into these the Thursday nighters. Denver at Jacksonville, which is actually in London. Denver, Jacksonville, London.
Vegas likes the Jags, so I think they're going to be favored. Jags minus 2.5.
Nailed it. On it.
On it?
2.5. Exactly. Nailed it. I think it's interesting that it doesn't really matter if Wilson plays or not on the line.
It moved like 4 points last week.
Did it?
Yeah.
So we'll be interesting to see if that changes.
It opened
at all.
up with them, I think, minus 2.5 and ended
Okay.
with them plus 1.5.
All right. Carolina at Atlanta. The Red Hot Panthers off a 21-3 win at Atlanta.
This feels like Vegas zone to me. Atlanta minus 4.5.
Got it. -4.
Let's go, dude.
3-0 start
We're
here on the
bound
week.
for a middle
It's
of
coming.
the road
It
swoon.
could come.
coming
A
here.
swoon, okay.
Bears at Cowboys. Bears at Cowboys. Bears flying high off of that big win at New England.
Dallas
3 and 4.
Dallas
They are
minus
3 and 4.
10.
Got it. Cowboys -9.5.
Let's
4-0
go.
start to the week. This is
I'm
unbelievable.
just going with the first thing that pops into my head.
Miami at Detroit. Dolphins at Leos.
Miami minus 6.
Bow.
-3.5. Yeah.
Oh, no, I wasn't even in the neighborhood.
Arizona at Minnesota. Arizona at Minnesota.
Minnesota minus 5.5.
Dun, 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 dun.
Bow.
Arizona, I'm sorry, Minnesota -3.5. -3.5 on that one.
God, I was
There's
feeling
that middle
so
of the road
good.
swoon that we always go
Yeah,
through.
These are weird ones.
He loves roots.
Why are you rooting
Always
against
roots
me?
you.
Hey, man, I was super
Vegas.
impressed with the beginning, but I knew where this was going.
Vegas at New Orleans. Las Vegas at New Orleans.
Saints minus 1.5.
God. Vegas -1.5.
Vegas?
Vegas -1.5.
Okay.
New England at Jets. You're now 4-3. 4-3 for Segura. New England at the Jets.
Jets minus 3.
New England -2.5.
What? God, I'm frozen.
Isn't that crazy?
That's a crazy line.
I think so too.
Tell you where you could take that line.
Pittsburgh at Philly. Pittsburgh at Philly.
Some interesting games this week.
Eagles minus 10.5.
Got it. -11. -11. You know what we should do for this segment? We need to get like the Price is Right music looping.
Yeah.
I'll work on that.
That would be beautiful. That's Jeopardy. But yeah, Price is
But
Right is
something
the one
like
we
that.
want. Yeah. Bob Barker, hell of a life. God bless him.
Did
What a
it in his knees.
microphone.
Great run.
Among other things. Tennessee at Houston. Tennessee at Houston.
Tennessee minus 4.5. What? 6?
-2.5.
What?
Washington at Indy. You're still in play.
I was going to say, you're
You're
still
in
right
play.
there.
You're staring down the barrel right now. You're 5-5.
Ugh.
5-5. Even
What?
Steven.
Washington
at Indy. Washington at Indy.
Debut of what's-his-face at quarterback.
Yeah, Sammy Ellinger.
What's-his-face?
Who is known primarily in college football circles by the guy who got on the microphone after Texas won some innocuous bowl when Tom Herman was the coach. It might have actually been a game against Georgia. And he goes, guess who's back? Like Texas was back. They haven't won a damn thing since.
Indy.
Isn't that real quick interlude. Isn't it amazing that, like, that's what's being sold over there, that they spent all offseason on Matt Ryan, and they're going to go with Sam Ellinger. It's not like anyone's like, oh, I wonder if there's more to Sam Ellinger.
And not only
No,
that, but
less.
again, like, Ryan's not even an option if he gets hurt.
Correct.
It's Nick Foles.
It's Foles. He's done. I wonder if he could be traded, but honestly, the only places that I think would have interest are like the Saints.
Well, he's got $24 million guaranteed this year and another $12.5 next year.
Be a buyout, won't he? Feels
Making
like it.
some money, laughing to the bank.
Yeah. Washington, Commies at Colts.
Indy's got to be favored. They're at home.
We're not giving you hints here.
Indy -2.5.
Got it. -3.
Survived.
Pedro's at Just Ram It.
Oh, boy. This will be your downfall,
At
your
Rams.
home team.
Pedro's.
Rams.
Which, up until seeing these cream Browns starter jackets, the Niners gold was I thought, the creme de
standard.
creme.
Tom
You'd be
Rathman.
right.
Rams -3.
Niners -1.5. Bum, 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 bum. Giants at Seattle. Looking for the Giants at Seattle.
That's an intriguing game.
I feel like the way that they've been spread, that this will not be as big as you would think it would be, and so I'm going to say Giants -1.5.
Seattle -3.
What?
Seattle -3.
Not below 500.
Packers at Bills.
Packers at Bills.
Sunday Night Football.
Bills -8.
Might not be waiting all day for that one.
That would be incorrect. Bills -11.5.
What?
The largest previous spread of Aaron Rodgers' career was 8.5 in 2014.
11.5?
In 2014, Rodgers was an 8.5-point dog at Seattle. They lost 36-13. That is the largest previous spread that he's ever faced. He is getting 11.5 at Buffalo. Coming off the bye. Now, Allen has played 3 times on Sunday Night Football. All 3 times, not only has he won, but he's covered.
Okay.
Little preview for the scores.
By the way, there's a lot of
wonky,
weird lines. Like
There
the
are.
ones that were made sense, I felt like I was very good on.
Well, that would be the case. The ones that I got right, I felt really good about.
That was right on.
I don't know about all these I missed. They're all
These are
seem
weird.
strange. I don't understand.
Well, they are weird.
I think there are some that are. I mean, the Bills -11.5.
Going
is pretty wild.
more than a point over a touchdown, I thought with Aaron Rodgers was 8.5. He was giving that a big line there.
Yeah, Packers have not covered though in like 4 weeks.
Okay. All right. What's left for me?
Cincinnati at Cleveland, the last one of the day.
Bengals -5.5.
Nope. Bengals -3.5.
Oh. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Bad week.
5,
Bad week.
6, 6 and 9. You come out hot, dude.
I was 4
And
and 0.
you were
I was 4
rolling through
You hit
some
your first
tough ones.
4.
4 for 4.
Nailed it. Not only did you nail it, the furthest you were off on any of them was 0.5. You were on it.
And then they just were like,
All went to hell.
yeah. I feel like they changed what they were doing at that point.
Yeah, the algorithm. Buying or selling a home with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services is always a winning strategy.
I'm sad.
I am too. If you plan to make a move this season, they're going to have you covered because at Howard Hanna, every day is game day. Visit howardhanna.com/GoBrowns today for more. Yes, sir.
I know we haven't tracked this, but I'd be curious on the ones where like can't believe the spreads. I wonder the relationship between that and like how good I do on the scores, because scores have been
supreme.
crushing. So I do feel like there's some built-in advantages that we have.
This is what I think too, because this has happened. It happens. It feels like every week. I know for a fact it's happened multiple times this season, where in a given week the 2 or 3 biggest lines not only don't cover but
They
lose
outright.
We had that twice. All 3 of the 4 biggest lines last week, including the 2 biggest, all not only lost but lost by what they were favored by. Think about that swing that is being missed.
Yeah.
It's a substantial one,
Yeah.
to say the least. New linebacker Dion Jones, one-on-one with Z, coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Brought to you by Ballybet, coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Welcome back to Cleveland Browns Daily. Very happy now to be joined by one of the newest members of the Browns, linebacker Dion Jones. Dion, first of all, welcome to Cleveland.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It's been nice.
What's the acclimation been like for you? You spent your whole career down in Atlanta with the Falcons, and now all of a sudden, new team, new city, thrust right into action against the Ravens last week.
Yeah, it's been good. Getting acclimated, learning the playbook, finding a place to stay. It's been kind of quick, but it's been all fun and, good to figure out.
How helpful is it to have so many LSU guys already on the roster?
Yeah, they help out big time, let me know where to stay at, keeping me up on, the routine around here. So just following guys around right now, getting the schedule down and getting to know everybody.
Very accomplished in your career, 5 100 tackle seasons. You've been a Pro Bowler. And you also had some experience in that Dan Quinn defense. How helpful was that kind of in preparing you for what the Browns are asking you to do here?
Oh, it's been helpful. Like terminology, of course, different, different words and stuff, but the concepts are pretty much the same. Some things are tweaked to kind of help the mic out or, just the defense in general. But other than that, it's just been, plug and play kind of.
For people who maybe aren't as familiar with those great Falcons-Saints rivalries that you used to be a part of, how would you describe your game to Browns fans who are now going to see a lot of you?
Just flying around, playing fast. That's my style of play, flying around, tackling, and that's what I plan on doing.
A natural in coverage as well. Is that something that you've always been kind of good at, 11 career interceptions, so you know how to get your hands on the ball?
Yeah, coverage was like one of the things I had to learn as soon as I got in the league, being in a lot of space, covering a lot of guys. So it's something I took pride on and locked in on it and kind of took off from there.
I mentioned the 500 tackle seasons, 3 in a row last year, over 130 down there in Atlanta. Do you take pride in making sure if you get your hands on somebody, you get them to the ground, and what do those stats kind of mean to you?
They kind of come as they go, as the season come on, but I love, like I said, flying around, getting to the ball, finding the ball, and, getting the person on the ground. That's part of the game, and I'm at a position where I get to do it a lot.
You certainly will, and obviously things have changed in that room, even since you've been here. Jacob Phillips now on injured reserve with that injury. You are going to get an opportunity to play a lot, which is what you're used to anyway, right? So physically, how do you feel after your first game back after taking that time off?
Just like everybody, a little sore, and then, just recoup, watch the tape, get back to, the basics and see where I could take off from there. It's only up from now.
Did it feel good to get back out on the field?
It definitely felt good to get back out there. Like I said, just be on the field with the guys and getting the feel of what you love to do is always a good thing. So, just like I said, just keep growing from there and just continue to gel and build with these guys.
Was it nice to step right into a rivalry game? Could you feel kind of the Browns-Ravens and what that meant?
Yeah, that conference game was an eye-opener, like just seeing how intense it is, the crowd play into it, and, I like to see how that is at home.
You're going to get that Monday night, right, against the Bengals. You come right back in, Ravens, Bengals, big games, obviously, for this team. And you're new to the team, but you kind of know where this team sits and work to do to get back to where we want to be.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, just, back to the grindstone. Guys get back in the books, get refocus on the new opponent, and we go from here.
Have you ever had a coach who is crazy, and I mean this in a good way because I love the guy, and loves the ball as much as Coach Tarver? Is that...
I have he's come from he knows the guys that I know, of course, like Dan Quinn, Brick, and he's got that same energy, and I like to have that in the room for sure.
It's fun, right?
Yeah, it's fun. It keeps everybody alert, everybody in and locked in. So he's always on us, and we appreciate that from him.
All right, so this will be your debut in front of the home fans on Monday night. What's one thing you want them to know about Dion Jones? Because it's easy to look up the stats, the accolades, all of that, but something that, when they see 54 out there, what do you want them to think about?
Coming back here.
Oh, like I said, getting to the ball and flying around, that's what I love to do.
Well, Dion, it's great to have you here. Best of luck on Monday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're up.
All right, good stuff. Be good to see him in there. Necessary as well, by the way, with the injuries.
Quite necessary. Yeah, and he's a good player. And I think that, you saw last week, even just his veteran know-how helped the younger guys. JOK had his best game, since early in the season.
Yeah, and from in terms of the matchup this week, in terms of us getting put in the right positions early, pretty critical against this passing attack. They can't run it for whatever reason.
They don't even try anymore.
They're not trying. They're like, we're good. So, but they'll spin it all over the place. So that'll be the key to this thing, and is getting everybody in the right spots and knowing what they're doing and having them on the same page, and hopefully Dion will be able to do that.
They are now in 11 personnel 98% of the time.
Yeah.
They are in the shotgun 90% of the time since week 5, and they are just absolutely slinging it around the yard.
Yeah, I think it's a situation where, like, they tried, and then they just said, well, to heck with it, let's do it, and away they go. And so they'll spin it, and spin it a little bit more, and they're really good at it. Browns fans get into First Energy Stadium quicker on game days with Express Access, presented by Root Insurance. Enroll for free today to enter through exclusive lanes at each gate. Plus, each game use Express Access at First Energy Stadium. You'll be automatically entered for a chance to win a Browns autographed item. Go to the Tickets tab in the Browns mobile app to learn a little bit more about that. Still so much more to come, including a Thursday night score. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Browns fans, catch the Kevin Stefanski Show with Nathan Zagura and Gerard Cherry tonight, 7 to 8, Panini, Center Road in Brunswick. Meet Browns cornerback Greg Newsome. Check out Thursday Night Football as the guys get you ready for Monday Night Football and the Cincinnati Bengals coming up here shortly. Real quick, I know we have a score coming up. I know we have a couple minutes here. We actually do have a little bit. Did you guys see, apparently Kimmel's doing this, our friend Mr. Dogg commenting the Planet Earth videos?
I saw your post last night. It was pretty awesome.
Wait, what?
Snoop Dogg is giving play-by-play of the Planet Earth videos. You remember, of course, you've seen the original series.
Amazing.
You know the scene where the little lizard is trying to get to the water with the snakes?
Yes.
Snoop is breaking it down on Kimmel.
On Kimmel?
It's on Kimmel.
I have to.
And it is.
I have to seek this out.
I found this last night at like 11 o'clock on a First Friday. I probably watched it for 15 minutes straight to watch Mr. Dogg break it down.
How long does he do it?
It's like 2 minutes. I just kept looping it.
Oh, it was
so great.
You needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
It was so great. Yeah. I don't know if it's a weekly thing or if he does it all the time. I have no idea. But I didn't even know it was happening. But it happened. Whoever came up with it is brilliant. So apparently him and Kevin Hart break down the equestrian stuff at the Olympics, which I didn't know.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that I'd heard.
So that has to be great, too. But this is sensational.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love everything about it.
You're going to like a lot about our good friend, Mr. Dog.
By the way, another big week for us on the scores last week. But we'll tell everybody. We'll give them the full details tomorrow.
Huge on that.
Huge.
It's a weird week. We got to spread everything out. Like, scores are tomorrow, but over-unders are Monday.
And then compressed next week.
Real compressed.
Spread compressed.
Real compressed.
Yeah, that's right. All right, we got one tonight.
We do, and it's a big one. Tampa Bay playing host to the Ratbirds. Baltimore has won 1 in a row. Tampa Bay has lost 2 in a row. Tampa Bay 1-2 at home on the football season. I don't want to say it's a must-win because it's the AFC or NFC South, and that tends to be a little bit of hot garbage. But kind of to get them back on track, they need to get a win, and we could use their help.
I think it's a little bit of a referendum week for him and Belichick, with Belichick going to the Jets being favored, with the quarterback thing kind of in a state of flux. I mean, Brady's won any conversation.
Stunned that they're favored.
Me too.
It
I don't
makes
understand
no
that at all.
sense.
I don't get that at all. All of those teams, by the way, the Bucks are at the. We talked about the Bucks, the Rams, and the Packers. The Bucks host the Ravens tonight. Obviously, the Packers at Buffalo is 11.5-point dogs, and then the Rams are home dogs to the Niners, who've been where's the health of the Niners? Are they getting healthier?
Getting healthier, yes.
Yeah. So you feel like with a full week of McCaffrey that, you feel okay about that. But it's those three teams are the good news to your point though, Gibby. Like that division's brutal, and there's no quarterback play in the division. So, yeah. Well, how do you see it? You go ahead, sir.
Well, this one is a Thursday, and so we're going to use our powers because we're
going to skate around
7 for 7. So we are going to take the Ravens. Huge.
1 minute.
Huge. Baltimore's huge. Ravens big. Edgar Allan Poe. Caw-caw.
The horse you rode in on Saloon, not in Tampa. It's in Baltimore. That's great.
So good. So good. Mark Andrews. Wayne Jenkins. Not a good guy, but a fun series. Omar. Please. Barksdale Crew.
30.
Go Barksdale. Team Barksdale, not Team Marlowe. I didn't like Marlowe.
I hate you guys. Can you turn
Under
yourself
Armour.
up a little bit?
All right. Next level's next. We're back tomorrow. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Let's go.